Now you said don't do that.
You got me down pat. Okay.
Why not?
Cool.
No, I ain't.
Oh, so we'll do that. Yeah.
So that's why I added this one.
Oh,
This
okay.
one's right.
Okay. So we want her to get out of here.
They right on the ones.
Okay.
That's pretty good. I'm bringing it closer to me.
So you got everything you need over there, Linda?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we had?
I had separated my pages.
Yeah.
Since I picked this up and didn't pick up.
Well, they'll figure it out. Yeah, you know, yeah, they're gonna, they always have that little issue when they move from one big school to the other.
Yeah, these, I just got these today. I asked for them last week, but it's not today. These are the two people,
Oh, Raphael, yeah.
the, packet for the ISDs.
Raphael, I think he's with GISD now? Yeah.
It's just information about the two people that,
About GISD. Okay.
so I just got the data, so I wasn't able to.
Yeah, because I wasn't at their last meeting, because they were looking for Linda as well.
Here you go.
Okay.
She said it was like she knew what I wanted. I love it. I love it. I sure do, yes. I just had that the other week. I would care for it again, yes.
So I asked for this last week from ISD, but they just sent it to me right before the meeting.
His mama.
Good evening. I would like to call the Flint Board of Education Committee of the whole meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Board members, as I call your name, please reply present for the record. Trustee King?
Yeah, present.
Trustee Relaford?
Present.
Treasurer Loon is absent. Vice President McIntyre?
Present.
Assistant Secretary Treasurer Booz?
Present.
Secretary Perkins?
Present.
Myself, present. 6 present, 1 absent. The board will now hear comments from the public. We ask that you state the reason for addressing the board and that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes on matters within authority of the board and not address individual by name. The presiding officer of the board should have the right to limit the number of persons who may address the board on the same subject. Please state your name before beginning to speak. Is there anyone here from the public who wish to address the board? Please come forward. You guys, you can just come forward.
Yeah,
The mic
we got
or-
2 of those.
Okay.
We got 2.
Fred Krug from Tenergy. I'd like to respectfully submit some material here to the superintendent, if that's possible. I've been working with Chanda Cleaves. Chanda's great. I'm from Tenergy. Currently, we're working with the city of Flint on an audit project. We've recovered high 6 figures for the city right now. The main thing for the Flint, thank you, ma'am, is we've done 250 school districts in Michigan, recovering them millions of dollars. As opposed to, I read in the agenda, the Stevenson audit contract, which is the CPA firm, which is totally different from what we do, of course. $336,000 budget allotted. Our service is completely free. What we do is we go out and we find the refunds and the savings, we return that money to the district, and then once we do that, do we share in the savings. So this district will never pay us a dime for our services. Like I said, we've worked with 250 districts in Michigan, and painfully, the one of them that's missing is Flint. So when you go through the list, you'll see Eastern Michigan University, you'll see a bunch of schools, Detroit Country Day, all kinds of them. And in that pack I just submitted, there's a lot of reference letters. So in addition to schools, we've done like Detroit Lions, cities, hospitals, McLaren, across town here we've done. And like I said, Ms. Cleaves has been great. We've been working, but I just wanted to come tonight to see an actual board meeting for the Flint schools and respectfully submit that material to the board and Mr. Kelvin Jones, superintendent. So, thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Philip Loving. I'm a designer from Flint and from Beecher School Districts.
What's your name again?
Philip Loving. Being sorry, nervous. I design alumni jackets, and I want to use officially use Flint Public Schools and give back to the community where each jacket, my wool jackets are $200, and what I would like to do is give a percentage back to the community schools to where it could go to the band or any program that's lack of funding. This would be a 24-hour or nonstop fundraiser. As long as they go to my website, people can purchase a Northern, Northwestern, Southwestern, Central, coat. Everything is made over in Pakistan right now, but I'm also getting manufacturing in Atlanta, so I won't have to worry about the tariffs. Yes.
Excuse me. Robert Rules of Order and point of order. We cannot have conversation going back for one person and not the other. The rules is that we can't do what the board member requested. However, she want to step down and step out of her seat and go down and talk to you, that's fine.
Okay.
Afterwards, that's fine. I like what you're doing. You have some information, you can pass it out and they can handle it from there.
Okay, will do.
Proceed.
Okay. Reason why I came today is to get an authentication from you guys. I partner up with Hemedy Schools and Flint Board to where when each person purchased the jacket, they'll see that it came from the school district. It have the authentic patch on here as well, and that's what I would like to do with the Flint schools, to have the F logo patch to let everyone know that their jacket is going back into the community while they're still wearing their school pride. And to also let the, want to start a program to where the seniors of upcoming years for the Jaguars can have their own varsity jackets as well, and for that upcoming class to design that jacket. Yeah, so That's my presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
You got that? He has a copy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We will be getting in contact with you.
Okay.
Is there anybody else from the public would like to speak?
Madam Chair,
Seeing none,
Madam Chair, does anyone have his contact information?
he just said, it. We just told him, they has it. Kevin, Superintendent Jones and Pam has all this information. And if you are planning on sticking around, maybe, you know, board members like to speak with you as well. Thank you. At this time, we will have a financial update by our CFO, Ms. Chandra Cleaves. Good afternoon.
Good evening. I'm going to give you an update from the finance office. So what you'll find on this slide is I'm just going to go over our previous year's audit findings and kind of how we've resolved them and where we're at as of today with them. So these are familiar because the auditor presented them back in November to you. So the first one was regarding financial information throughout the year. Various entries had to be made to the financial statements. So right now, what we've been doing is doing a monthly closing so that at the end of the year, at the end of this audit year, we won't have as many entries that we had to have the previous year. So that's the solution to this finding. So you should not see this finding on the upcoming audit for this school year. Finding 2 was on bank reconciliations. If you can recall, I know it's back in November, but there was a large adjusting entry that had to be made. And so what has taken place now is I have started reviewing those bank reconciliations and making sure all of those entries are cleared. So by the time we're ready for audit season, we won't have that issue as well. The next finding was pretty much already resolved already, and it was regarding payrolls from construction projects. We weren't receiving those payrolls and reviewing them. So the construction team has started reviewing those actual payrolls prior to the business office receiving them for payment. So that has already been resolved, and that definitely will be removed for this upcoming year audit. The other 3 items are just, they weren't actually findings, but they were comments that the auditor had presented during the audit. And the first one was on time and effort reporting. Whenever you're charged partially to a federal grant or 100% to a federal grant, you have to submit the time you've spent working on that grant. And what happened was we had a couple teachers that actually wrote down on their forms the wrong grant. So they actually spent the time working on the grant, but they actually listed the wrong grant name on there. So we're going to make sure those are reviewed prior to the audit as well to make sure that we're reflecting the right grant, I'm sorry. The second one was grant coding. We had, this was back in previous 2023 when they were reviewing the title grant. We had actual expenses that were coded incorrectly. They didn't actually match the application that was submitted. So we're making sure that all of that stuff is tied out prior to the audit. The next one was student activity funds. And what we've been doing with student activity funds is just making sure that we have a reconciliation, making sure that that cash that is collected is actually reflected in the books correctly. And also, what we would like to do going forward is any fundraising or cash collecting, we have some type of schedule so that we know when we can expect a deposit in the business office. So we kind of know ahead of time what fundraising opportunities are out at the buildings, and then we can get ahead of it and know when funds can be expected for those student activity funds. ESSER 3 funding. So I just kind of want to explain what happened with the ESSER 3 funding. I know there was communication that was sent out that we might owe $15 million back, and that is not the case. We actually requested, our first request of that $15 million was on October 28th. We requested $4.5 million, and we received it. Our second request was on December 4th of $9.4 million, and then our third request was December 23rd of $4.7 million. So total requested that we had received by December of 2024 was $18.7 million. We had a carryover amount of about $20.1 million to start the year with. That was our beginning balance, $20.1 million. So we requested 18.7 of it, which will leave us a remaining balance of 1.4 million. I am happy to report that as of today at 5:15, I requested the entire 1.4 million. So we are off MDE's list, and we were able to recover and recoup all of our ESSER funding.
Great job, great job. Thank you very much.
What time was that, you said, 5:14?
Yes.
Okay.
For our grant carryover, I just kind of wanted to run through grant funds that we had carry over into this fiscal year. Our 31A funding, we had roughly 1.4 million that carried over from the previous year. And then Title I, we had about 2.1 million, Title II, 1.1 million, and Title IV, $933,711. So total carryover grant funding was 5.7 million. Just to note, we are still waiting on MDE approval for our title funding carryover dollars. So that will be reflected in my final budget amendment at the budget hearing in June. Is there any questions?
I just have just one question, Madam President.
Proceed.
Under finding number 1, what were the entries that needed to be added? Do you know? Or something had to be added, you stated?
Yes, so I can actually provide those entries if you would like to see them. But what happened was, one of them had to do with the second finding that was on the, for the bank reconciliations. So there was an adjustment made to cash that should have been reversed and was not. So that was one of the entries that had to be made.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
And also, what is 31A funding?
That is our at-risk funding we
Okay.
receive. And that actually comes through the state on our monthly state aid payments.
Okay.
Trustee McIntyre?
Yes, thank you, and congratulations on that
Yeah, thank
15 million. And I know, as Superintendent Jones said, it was a lot of hard work, so thank you for that. And thank you for your due diligence, which we respect, but expect, but is very much appreciated, especially given this tumultuous time. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of things to be responsible for and to take care of. And, you know, I couldn't feel better with you leading the helm on this. So I'm very much appreciative. With you addressing the audit findings, I'm still not that familiar with audits, but is this going to be reflected in this upcoming audit? Like, are we going to be, will it be like, it's noted that they're not corrections, or they're not findings, but will it be noted that you've addressed everything and done, and been successful, and that's one question. And then the other question is with the what is it, what budget is that, the student budget?
Oh, the student activity
The
funds.
student is that, so that's taken care of now, because it's been 2 years in a row, and I know it's like a very small budget, but it just is indicative of, you know, how well we're good stewards of, you know, of any funds that we have. Is that finally, do you think that's finally, we can put that to bed and we won't have to hear anything about that ever again, or what do you think?
Yes, so I'll address your first question. So your first question regarding the previous year audit findings, in the audit report, there will be a form that shows these were the audit findings, this is what the correction was going to be to the audit findings, and whether they were resolved or not. So then it'll show on that form that we have actually addressed the finding and corrected it. So that should reflect in the upcoming audit report. The second question regarding the student activity funds, we actually have a student activity fund committee, and so we have kind of met to hear what concerns that buildings have regarding their student activity funds, and kind of what can we put in place to make the process easier. So that has been helpful, hearing from the building staff, like what is needed to make sure that we're able to resolve that. So I am very hopeful that that is enough to take care of it for this year.
Madam Chair.
Trustee Rutherford?
Hi, thank you. Hi, Ms. Cleaves.
Hello.
I'm so excited because you do monthly closing. I've been asked for that since March 15, 2023. So to have that, you just make my heart happy. The reconciliation of the student funds, is there any way possible where, when we're dealing with students, we could become moneyless to where they use a card swipe or something like that instead of having cash? Is that possible?
So right now, we've kind of piloted it with the athletic, with the games. We've
Okay.
done GoFan. And so with the GoFan, they're able to enter the games, and cash does not have to be handled at that point. We get automatically a check and then a reconciliation to how many tickets were sold. We are looking into other opportunities where we can be cashless for students in other areas.
Okay.
Because there are programs out there, so that would be forthcoming to a board meeting.
Okay, so there are apps. There's apps out there that could do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, when it comes to, you had talked about the coding of grants, how it just was, when they're working on a grant, reporting the time, and the grant was wrong, is there any way we can do like crossover, like do a cross-check when someone finished something, have like fresh eyes look at it? It sounds like a lot of things can be caught if fresh eyes can look at it far as like a team approach, where you have one person doing it, but they have a person that looks over it to kind of like do a spot check. I think that would help. Overall, the finances, since I've been a board member, it has improved 3,000%. I think the audit this year would be a lot better, because findings are findings. And I like the fact that you state what the audit states. That makes a difference. And just actually seeing the results of your work, it speaks volumes. I'm comfortable now with reading documents that deals with finances. I haven't been comfortable for 3 years, but I will say right now I'm comfortable. I can look at it. It makes sense. It adds up, and that's kudos to you holding people accountable. And I just look forward to more people being held accountable. Thank you.
Trustee King?
Yeah, question. Do we have a goal for cashless? Like, when will we be cashless overall?
So we did pilot it, like I said, for the GoFan this year, so I'm gonna start looking into other vendors and what they have to offer, and then bring it to the board, so then we can decide, or come with a recommendation as to how we will move forward.
Like a timeline to be 1 to 2, 3 years, or?
No, no, hopefully to start of next school year.
Cool.
So that we can have it here implemented.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Are there any more questions?
Just one more statement I would like to say, excuse me. As a new board member, your audit explanation is very clear for me, because you have the finding and then you have the solution down there, and that helps me too,
Yes, it does.
because I'm not a real budget person.
Trustee Perkins?
I just want to say you do a great job, and it's something that is easy to understand as we follow what you're showing us, and so I thank you.
Thanks.
Are there any more questions? Seeing no further questions, thank you. Congratulations. Great job.
Great job. You can clap.
Yes, it's nice to hear those claps.
Budget is serious.
I now turn the floor over to the chairperson, trustee Relaford, for the human resource portion of the agenda.
Uh-oh, sorry, y'all. Hi, good evening. Flipboard, okay. I'd like to call the Human Resource Committee of the whole meeting to order. I will now call upon Superintendent Jones to present action to the board. Mr. Jones?
All right, thank you, trustee Relaford. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 1.13, personnel recommendations to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
Support.
It has been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? What? Seeing no one wants to discuss it, the motion to move resolution 1.13, personnel recommendations to the regular meeting for adoption, will be conducted by a roll call vote. As I call your name, please say yes or no to approve this motion. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Booz?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Luna is absent, and myself, Trustee Relaford, yes. Okay. In your packet on page 13 is information, item 2.5, retirements and resignations. Do any board members have any questions? Thank you. Superintendent Jones, you have any questions? Seeing no further business, I declare the Human Resource Committee of the whole meeting adjourned. I now turn the floor over to Trustee King for the Finance and Operation Committee of the whole portion of the agenda. It is currently 6:52.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. I would like to call the Finance Operations Committee of the whole meeting to order. I will now call upon Superintendent Jones to present action to the board.
Before I do that, I'm gonna ask Ms. Cleaves and our maintenance manager, Mr. Velez, to come so that they can support if there are any questions. If there are any, can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Don't sound like you are.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.8, authorization to move Neithercut to Freeman, to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption. This is the services to the moving company to move the materials from one school to the other. That's what this for. So we're not asking you to move the school. We've already decided to do that. We're asking you to help with the moving, approve the moving services, Corrigan. I just want to be clear.
Is there a motion from my colleagues? Trustee Relaford?
Did you make a
I'll
motion?
make the motion to approve.
Okay.
Sorry,
You said to do what?
to approve.
To approve. The motion was made to approve 11.8. Is there any support?
Support.
All right, motion has been supported. The motion, is there any discussion?
If I may,
Yes.
I just want to be clear that the motion that is being sought here is the paperwork behind it is to use Corrigan as the moving company. To use Corrigan as the moving company to move all the teacher materials, all the furniture that we want to move in a timely manner to be ready for teachers' return after the summer. Just wanted to be clear.
And that is for 11.8 and 11.9.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there any other more discussions? Seeing no discussions, roll call. Trustee Relaford?
Yes.
Myself, Trustee King is a yes. Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Trustee Booz?
Yes.
Secretary Perkins? All right, motion passes 6 yes, 0 no. Mr. Jones for
Yeah.
11.9.
Yep, 11.9 is similar. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.9, authorization to move ALA to Southwestern to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
So moved.
Support.
Motion has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, the motion that we're going to vote on is to move 11.9 to the regular board meeting next week. Seeing no further discussion, trustee Relaford.
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre.
Yes.
President McNeil.
Yes.
Trustee Booth.
Yes.
Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Myself, trustee King, is a yes. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Jones.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.10, authorization to restore power to existing parking lot lights at Southwestern to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
So moved.
Support.
It's moving properly supported to move 11.10 to the regular board meeting. Is there any discussion? See no discussion. The motion we're about to vote on is to move 11.10 to the regular board meeting. Trustee Relaford.
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre.
Yes.
President McNeil.
Yes.
Trustee Booth.
Yes.
Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee King is myself. I vote yes. A motion passes 6-0. Mr. Jones for 11.11.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.11, authorization to deinstall smart boards, relocate and reinstall smart boards at new locations to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
So moved.
Been moved and supported to send 11.11 to the regular board meeting. Is there any discussion from my colleagues?
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Relaford.
just for clarification, this is just relocating the smart boards from schools, from Neithercut to Freeman, and also from ALA to Southwestern.
Yes.
Just wanted to be confirmed. Thank you.
Trustee McIntyre.
And this is from the general fund?
Yes.
Any more comments from my colleagues? Seeing no comments from my colleagues, we're going to vote on 11.11 to be moved to the next board meeting. Trustee Relaford.
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre.
Yes.
President McNeil.
Yes.
Trustee Booth.
Yes.
Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Myself, Trustee King, is a yes. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Jones for 11.12.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.12, authorization to make repairs to the auditorium seating at Southwestern to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
Support.
Is that a motion?
Make motion that we
Is
so
it-
move and move to it.
Say so moved.
Is there any support?
Support.
All right, motion has been made to move and supported to move 11.12 to the regular board meeting. Is there any discussion from my colleagues? See no discussion, we're going to be voting on item 11.12 to be moved to the regular board meeting. Trustee Relaford.
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre.
Yes.
President McNeil.
Yes.
Trustee Booth.
Yes.
Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Myself, Trustee King, motion passes 6-0. Mr. Jones for 11.13.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.13, authorization to make repairs to electronic control door hardware for Holmes and Brownell to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported to move item 11.13 to the regular board meeting next week. Is there any discussion from my colleagues? Trustee McIntyre.
So we just discussed the mistake, is this going to, do we need to amend this?
We,
Before we vote on it, or we fixed it?
we need to correct, there was a 9 added in the paragraph of the resolution, but at the top of the resolution,
On page 40 is the correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep,
yeah,
at
we
the
see
top of the resolution, in the line item is correct at
the correct amount.
$8,884.80. In the paragraph, there was a 9 added, that is incorrect. It is not 89,000, so we will correct this documentation before the secretary signs.
Yes.
Yes,
Make sure, and this is from the general fund as well?
yes.
Some of them say general fund and some of them don't specify, so I'm just trying to.
Trustee Booth.
When you say electronic control doors, is that the main doors or which doors?
Mr. Velez? Turn your mic on, please.
Oh,
During renovations, there was a few doors where hardware was missed on the scope of work. And after the fact, it had to be billed back to us to have it added. So this is a quote to replace those missing parts to finalize the full system for all the doors that have access control. Like they installed card readers for our badges, but they didn't install the electronic door strike at some of the doors
the
for some
main
reason.
entrance?
It's
or
not the
just
main entrance,
throughout?
it's some rooms, like in the in the rear offices.
Okay.
In the main office, but back doors into the offices.
Okay.
So they're more secure.
Trustee McIntyre?
So how was this stuff forgotten? Or
Again, that falls on our contractors or the architects missed it in the plans. They,
So, is this Clark?
well, Clark managed the job, but Stantec designed it and the contractors followed the specs provided by Stantec.
So what was Clark doing?
Clark managed the job, but at the end of the day,
They
the
didn't-
work wasn't in there. The RFI was not requested of the contract, from the contractors to the architects managed by Clark to find out why we're installing a card reader on a door that don't have a door strike in the plans. So they just went forward without reaching out to us for a correction. And now we got stuck with doors that should have access control, but they don't.
So whose fault is this? Is it Santec's or Clark's?
It more or less falls on, it's not just one person's fault, because the contractors that did the work didn't question the contractor that's managing the job, which is Clark, who would have contacted Stantec to make a change. But the change was never made, so we paid for what we got because it wasn't on the specs. We didn't pay
Right,
for the
okay.
door strikes.
No, I
It just got
understand that
missed.
part. I'm just
It
like,
was-
okay.
We didn't pay for something that we didn't get. We just didn't get it because nobody brought up the question during the construction. And remember, this was rushed work.
I
And
know,
it was
I
a lot
know.
of-
It's
some
just, it
things
just
slipped.
seems like
A little-
hardware on door security getting overlooked, you know, this is a
Yep.
small amount, I understand, but, I
Yep.
mean, what else was overlooked? I mean, that's why we have a project manager.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's exactly why we have a project manager, to manage this stuff so that it doesn't get overlooked. And I'm not directing my frustration at you, and not necessarily even at Clark or whatever. I'm just, but again, it comes out of our, students are paying for it because, you know, something else was overlooked in Flint schools.
I mean, unfortunately, it happened in a lot of areas. We couldn't be there to see every aspect at all times.
Any further comments from my colleagues? Gotcha. All right. Seeing no further comments from my colleagues, the motion we are about to vote on is 11.13, to move it to the regular board meeting. Trustee Rutherford.
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre.
Yep.
President McNeil.
Yes.
Trustee Booth.
yes.
Secretary Perkins. Myself, Trustee King, is a yes. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Jones for 11.14.
Yes, I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 11.14, authorization to paint gym at Freeman, to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported to move item 11.14 to the next, to regular board meeting next week. Is there any questions from my colleagues? Seeing no further questions, item 11.14 to be moved to the regular board meeting as the vote that we're going to vote on. Trustee Rutherford,
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre,
Yes.
President McNeil,
Yes.
Trustee Booth,
Yes.
Secretary Perkins, myself, Trustee King. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Jones for 11.15.
Yes, and seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 11.15, authorization to provide plumbing to new combi ovens at Holmes, to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly supported for 11.15 to be moved to the regular board meeting. Is there any questions from my colleagues?
Mr. Chair.
Trustee Rutherford, then Trustee McIntyre.
I know things change, but when does plumbing and oven go together?
That's what I wanted to know.
I can answer that. So these new combination ovens are also steam enabled, so they have water added to them to create steam to help cook the food more thoroughly and more efficiently.
Yeah.
And then they require a drain system, and it requires us cutting into the concrete to tie into the existing drains underneath the floor. So it's a big job, and we also have to upgrade our existing system because it doesn't meet health codes.
So this is state-of-the-art equipment we're talking?
This is new equipment for the kitchen, state-of-the-art equipment, yes.
Okay, I'll take state-of-the-art
Yes.
for free.
This is part of our move towards reducing the need of a central kitchen.
Awesome, thank you.
You're
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Trustee McIntyre?
And so, maybe I'm just overlooking it, where's this coming from? The
General fund?
general fund?
Oh, that's kitchen money. Food services.
Okay. So food services, is that budget that we have, that we're always trying to find
Yes,
ways to
please.
spend it?
Yes, the excess fund balance,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. And then,
Find it.
what, okay, so we've got to fix the plumbing. It's Flint. Still not, we're still in a water crisis. Yes, we are. What is going to safeguard that the water used for steaming food is going to be purified, filtered, whatever it needs to have done? And will there be regular testing for that water? It needs to be a minimum of every 3 to 6 months. That's what the recommendation is for water in Flint, is that it needs to be monitored like that. So what is going to be the safeguards for that?
We're in the process of implementing the Filter First initiative. We received a grant recently that will help us finance the grant, the project to improve filtration throughout the buildings for all of our point-of-use sinks and drinking fountains. Wherever someone can use water to consume, it will be filtered properly, and it will have an indicator built into the filter. When it needs to be changed, the light will illuminate to alert us of the need to change it, and we also have to have the water tested every time we change the filter. Those samples will have to be sent to a lab. The water will have to be shut down until those results are returned to us as positive or negative of any bacterial or contaminants. Then we'll be able to reuse that drinking fountain in the future, once the results are approved from a lab. And in the kitchen, it's going to be a little different because they're going to have inline filtration systems that will monitor as well.
So is Filter First what's associated with Kettering and with what Laura Sullivan was
No.
working on with the?
I'm sorry, not exactly. This is a new state law that was required of all schools to have a new filtration system in place at all points of drinking water.
So if I may, Trustee McIntyre, State Senator John Cherry introduced this legislation, I believe it was either a year and a half ago, requiring all school districts in the state of Michigan to have filter testing. Water testing. They had to have a filter, and he had to put all the logistics inside
Right.
the bill. Yes.
So let me rephrase that then. What happens to the work that has been done with the filtration system and the monitoring that was initiated by Laura Sullivan and Kettering? Is that we're just not dealing with that now?
We've had no positive test results since they helped us with testing. It was about, it's not been a year yet. They do it every year.
Dr. Love and
Dr. Sullivan, yes, they came in August last year. Yes. And everything was good. We replaced filters every year on the current drinking fountains. But with the new law, we have to replace our fountains with filters that identify with illuminated light. Our new fountains that we have now currently do not do that, and it's not easily upgradable.
What's the, what's the timeline then for how we're testing? Like what's the frequency of testing to ensure that the water is safe?
I believe it's annually, but I'll have to get that back, get the facts and get that back to you later.
With permission to superintendent, even though there's state laws that have requirements, 1 year is not enough for water in the city. And I'm wondering if maybe we could get more information about not only complying with state regulations, but also ensuring that we go above and beyond state regulations, just knowing what we know about the history of water and our infrastructure. Would it be possible to have more information brought forward about the filtration system for the drinking fountains? And then you were saying that there's a separate filtration system or a separate system for the steamers for the food. I'd like to know what the schedule for testing is, where those test results go, and you know, when we had our previous maintenance team, it just kind of, the information just didn't get reported back or wasn't monitored, it wasn't looked after. There wasn't, in my mind, a good accountability for that information, because I'm just really, really, really sensitive about this type of information. I just want to make sure nothing slips through the cracks. We can't afford to have anything slip through the cracks. So is there some way maybe of just, even though we're not required to, like if we just having more information and getting reports about the water quality, and especially if we're going to have water that's linked to a food system?
So if we could get back with the board with the work that Dr. Sullivan does, combined with the work that is being requested from the state, to see how it coincides, let us know when we can do that and bring that forward to the board.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Any more questions? President McNeil?
No, I'm fine.
All right, awesome. Trustee Rutherford, did you have?
Thank you for that. No, I just want to just make a comment. I love hearing about all the filters. I love the fact that you are aware of the state laws and the things what's going on. And I think you said when you change the filter, it automatically requires you to test something that you said.
Per the new state law, there's a mandatory, we have to shut down the drinking fountain.
Okay.
So we can't do them all at once. We have to strategically test these in
Correct.
batches so that we don't leave a building without a fountain at all. So we have to take them out of service while the water's being tested before we put it back into service once it's cleared the test. So we change the filter, we do a test, we change the filter. We can't turn it back on until the test results come back from the state or the lab.
Okay.
Then we can turn it back on. And we have to maintain a drinking water management plan within the district of all of our water fountains. And that's a requirement by the state law. And we just keep it on file. We don't have to share it with anybody, but if they ask, we have to produce it. So I'm implementing that drinking water management plan, and I'm going to be contracting with other vendors to install these new filtration systems with new drinking fountains, funded by the grant we received from My Healthy Hydration Grant? Michigan Healthy Hydration Grant. We received $335,000, something like that. But it doesn't the grant doesn't cover engineering, and we do have to hire an engineer to design the plan, unfortunately, out of the general fund. But I haven't got that information for you.
Hire
An engineer, a plumbing or a mechanical engineer to design the drinking fountain, to implement the plan for installing new fountains.
So we'll cross that. We
I know, I don't wanna get in
more
the-
information before.
I don't want to get in the weeds.
Trustee McIntyre, let Trustee Rutherford finish, and then we circle back to you. I got you.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
That's it for, okay. Trustee McIntyre, did you want to finish asking the question?
So Dr. Love and Dr. Sullivan are mechanical engineers that have been providing us services pro bono or gratis for several years. Not that I'm expecting that at all, but it would be nice to get their input instead of going outside and just precursorily hiring a mechanical engineer when we have our own in-house experts who've been so generous and gracious with their time so far, and probably know more than an outside mechanical engineer would. And I know we can't use the system that they developed, which is state-of-the-art, which might even be better than what the state is requiring, but they might be able to find a way to merge the systems, or, I don't know what mechanical engineers
Noted.
do.
I got
So,
you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Understood.
So I would appreciate that, like, just with all due respect to Dr. Sullivan and Dr.
Yep.
All right, President McNeil, did you have any?
No, I was just.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, seeing no further questions from my colleagues, we'll be voting on 11.15 to move to the regular board meeting. Trustee Relaford,
Yes.
Trustee Booz,
Yes.
Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
President McNeil,
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre,
Yes.
myself, Trustee King, motion passes 6 yes and 0 no. Mr. Jones, with 11.16.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.16, authorization to complete sidewalk replacement at Southwestern to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported by my colleagues to move 11.16 to the regular board meeting. Is there any question? Are there any questions from my colleagues? Seeing no further questions from my colleagues, we'll be voting on 11.16 to be moved to the regular board meeting. Secretary Perkins,
Yes.
Trustee Booz,
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre,
Yes.
President McNeil,
Yes.
Trustee Relaford,
Yes.
myself, yeah, as Trustee King is a yes. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Jones for 11.17.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.17, authorization to renew food service management contract to the regular board meeting on May 21st for adoption.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported by my colleagues to move 11.17 to the regular board meeting. Are there any questions from my colleagues?
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Relaford.
how often do we renew this contract? Is this Chartwell?
Yes.
Okay.
We have to do this annually because MDE has to approve the costs associated with it.
Okay, it's only annual because of MDE.
Yes, but
Gotcha.
then the contract with Chartwells is for 5 years. So then
Okay.
at that opportunity, you can either extend or go out for bid.
Gotcha.
But MDE is required to review the contract that they've submitted to us and give approval.
I was gonna say, I just saw this, but that explains it. Thank you.
Any other comments from my colleagues? Seeing no comments or questions from my colleagues, we'll be voting on 11.17 to be moved to the regular board meeting. Trustee Booz,
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre,
Yes.
Trustee Relaford,
Yes.
President McNeil,
Yes.
Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Jones for 11.18.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.18, authorization to award contract for audit services to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported to move 11.18 to the regular board meeting. Are there any questions from my colleagues? Seeing no further questions from my colleagues, we'll be moving item 11.18 to the regular board meeting with vote. Trustee Relaford,
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre,
Yes.
Trustee Booz,
Yes.
Secretary Perkins,
Yes.
President McNeil,
Yes.
myself, Trustee King is a yes. Motion passes 6-0. I turn the floor over now to President McNeil.
Thank you.
Good job.
I would now call upon Superintendent Jones to present action items to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to approve resolution 21.17, GISD biennial election.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to, for us to support Raphael Turner. It's two candidates, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's two.
Yes.
We got to vote on either. Or,
I was trying to get to that page. I think it's.
oh, great, okay. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I make a motion to support both candidates I was presented today.
Support.
You said it's two candidates?
Yes.
Right here.
The other one doesn't have a picture.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
That's why.
All right, thank you. All right, yes.
That's right.
I so moved and you support it?
Yes.
Oh, you, okay.
You have both support
Yes.
and second? Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. It has been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
are we voting today, right now?
For 21.17.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Any other further
So
discussion?
I'm,
Do you
so-
understand?
I don't.
Okay, so GISD, we approve these, either I'm not approving. So these are, if you look on page 78, these are the people that they're just here. And you always come back to the Flint Board of Education, and we vote it up or vote it down.
If I could add some more clarity.
Like, thank you.
So the county, the ISD, so there's 2 seats that's vacant, okay? Raphael Turner is currently the, one of the incomers because he had taken over for, filling the seat for, I forgot his name. He was an older man when we were at Queens.
Yes.
I forgot his name. But, yes, so every school board in the county, within the county association, get presented with these 2 candidates. Whatever candidate gets the most support from each Board of Education will be selected too. But there's 2 seats open, there's only 2 candidates for it.
Okay, that's, so we're just, it's
A formality vote.
Formality.
rubber stamp.
Oh, okay.
Formality.
It's formality, unless somebody run out of it, but yeah.
So nobody else is running?
No, just the 2
No,
candidates.
just the two.
And they post this, it's been out there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to seek clarity, and we're just saying that we are
In support.
in support of this resolution that's moving forward to next week for a vote?
Oh, this is approval, right?
We're
Or
approving
it's
it
a
right
vote
now.
We're
right
voting
Oh,
now.
right now.
Okay, that's,
That's what I understood.
okay. All right, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would just like to publicly say I am very familiar with Raphael Turner, very stand-up gentleman, comes from a very active family in the community, and God rest his mom. So just amazing individual, along with the dad. But Raphael has just been doing great things ever since he graduated from high school here, and I just think he's definitely an asset to this position at GISD. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more discussion?
Cecilia, I think that's right.
Seeing no further discussion, a motion to approve Resolution 21.17 GISD biennial election conducted by roll call vote. Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Relaford?
Yes.
Treasurer Loon is absent. Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Myself, McNeil. 6 yes, 1 no.
There was no, right?
I meant
No.
one
And
absent,
what was
one
your-
absent.
What was your vote?
I said yes.
You said,
I
you didn't say
said
yes or
mine,
no. You
I did, I
yes.
said President McNeil, a yes. Now, do you hear me now?
I can now.
Okay.
I really don't.
The earthquake on.
Yes, proceed.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to approve Resolution 21.18, the GISD Budget Profile 2025 and 2026.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
make a motion to approve item
21.18.
21.18.
Support.
It's been properly, you support it, it's the second.
If I may, Madam Chair, for comment.
Yes.
So we move and support it. To my colleagues' knowledge, where similar to how we vote on the candidates for the board, there's a budget set for the ISD for the county, where every school district, every Board of Education in the county is presented with the ISD budget. And there's up for a vote by per district for it to pass or not.
In the back of your book, you can see all of that information. And they do this every year. They just bring it to us. We can vote it up and down. Is there any more discussions? Seeing no further discussion, the motion to approve Resolution 21.18 GISD Budget Profile 2025 through 2026 conducted by roll call vote. Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Relaford?
Yes.
Treasurer Luna absent. Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. 6 yes. 1 absent. I now turn the floor over to Chairperson Booz for the academic portion of the agenda.
Okay, thank you. I would like to seek a motion second from the board to move Resolution 25.3, authorization and to implement the minor service. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, you knew you
I'm
learned it.
just going with it. Oh, I'm sorry. I read the wrong thing.
That's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay, we all make mistakes, because you're human.
Yeah, I don't want to keep making them.
Yeah, that's okay. It takes time.
I would like to call the Academic Committee of the whole meeting to order. I will now call upon Superintendent Jones to present action to the board.
Thank you, Trustee Booz. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 25.3, authorization to implement the minor services policy through the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Nurses Grant, fiscal year 2025, to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I make a motion to send item 25.3 to the regular board meeting.
Support.
Okay, it has been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes,
Ms. Fields, could you give us a brief
Trustee
overview
King.
of 25.3, please?
Yes, I can. For the school wellness program, there are 4 schools within the district that we participate in, which is an initiative through the state of Michigan. And the state of Michigan, through their school wellness program, has looked to expand the services that will be provided through those school wellness programs, which is a policy through the state of Michigan. They're asking us to adopt and be able to do flu, blood glucose testing, and pregnancy testing on top of that. And so that's the cost, total cost for the program, and for the supplies for that is $1,046.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
any other questions or
Chairman
discussions? Yes, Trustee Relaford.
Did you say 1,000?
Just $1,046 for the testing and supplies, yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Any other questions or discussions? Okay, there are any. So, let's see. Seeking no further discussion, the motion to move Resolution 25.3, authorization to implement the minor service policy through Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Nursing Grant FY25 to the regular meeting for adoption will be conducted by a roll call. As I call your name, please say yes or no for the record. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Luna is absent. Trustee Relaford?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
And myself, yes. So that's 6 yes and 0 no.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just one more.
Superintendent
Just one more,
Jones?
yeah.
Okay. Superintendent
Yep,
Jones?
no problem. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 25.4, authorization to roll out lab testing policies to the regular board meeting on May 21st, 2025 for adoption.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to send item 25.4 to the regular board meeting.
Support.
It has been properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Trustee King?
Yeah, through you to Ms. Fields, could you give us a brief overview of 25.4, please?
This would just be the rollout for those the testing policies that would outline the policies from the Michigan Department of Human Health and Services Nurse Grant. That's just to include that we would follow the policies that they've set forth with the state of Michigan, which is making sure that we have the rightful consents in place that the parents have submitted for students that would be treated within those particular sites, the school wellness program sites.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Trustee Rutherford.
and I'm probably going backwards. these supplies, I know it's just $1,046. A lot of our students receive government insurance. Is this something that that the insurance could cover? So the monies could be used for something different?
I wouldn't be able to answer that right now for you,
Okay.
but there's a possibility, and I see where you might be going with that. Is it possible that we could recoup revenue through Medicaid billing or whatnot? And I'll check into that.
Because there is, with this amount, that money can be directly submitted to you all.
Completely agree.
Completely, just right off the bat, because of that small amount. That way, those dollars could be used towards something else. But I am willing to have an offline conversation with you.
Absolutely.
To have this taken care of. All right, thank you.
Sounds good.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Superintendent
So-
Jones?
So in light of that, if we could move it and bring the information
Okay.
possibly before next week so that the board, it can be emailed, so they'll
Absolutely.
have that info, that'd be great.
Yep, sure.
All right.
Okay. Seeking no further discussion, the motion to move Resolution 25.4, authorization to roll out lab testing policy, will be moved to the next meeting. Is that correct? Okay, when I call your name, please say yes or no. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Luna's absent. Trustee Rutherford?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
And myself, yes. So we have 6 yes and 0 no.
Thank you, Ms. Fields.
Thank you, Ms. Fields.
Seeing no further business, I declare that the Academic Committee of the Whole meeting is adjourned
7:32.
at 7:32.
Thank you. Trustee Bruce, do any board members have any comments before we adjourn? Trustee Perkins?
I just wanted to say that I had a really good training with Sister Tracy Davis.
Yes, that's
And I learned how to read the data sheets to where I really understand them. And I had some concerns about the K through second grade and how we're tracking that, or if we're tracking it. Because I know, it was said before that when children get to the third grade, they can always tell if they're going to end up in pipeline to prison or whatever. But I want to know how they're tracking it, and are we preparing them properly for the third grade?
okay. Are there any more comments? Trustee McIntyre?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of comments. I just, taking off of Trustee Perkins' comments, I wanted to just say that I reiterate those. I share that. I haven't talked to Dr. Davis, right? Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've looked at her spreadsheet analysis, and it is so welcome and so appreciated. It's, for a data geek like myself, I can really get into the weeds with that, and it is raising an awful lot of questions, and I'm wondering just when we're going to be able to follow up with that so that we can do a deep dive and ask more questions. I share Trustee Perkins' concerns about the literacy rates. And above and beyond what the consultants are looking at, I'm concerned because I'm seeing a lot of news reports and emphasis on, now they're looking at fourth grade. There's a lot of data coming out about fourth grade, so I would really like to, like I said, have a deeper dive into our own district's data, and then also maybe have a follow-up with what we're doing with our human math project and with our the graduation plan. I'd really like to see that moving forward so that we have scorecards and tally sheets for each student with, you know, what they need in order to graduate, like Dr. Davis was suggesting. That was really exciting when we went to Mississippi and looked at all the success that they had there. And so I just really want to emphasize to the board that we need to follow up on all the work that we've done with that. And we need to, you know, put that on the agenda so that we can discuss the Mississippi to Michigan Miracle, human math, our graduation retention, however we're calling that, and with the green, with green education. And then now that we have a new PR communications member, coordinating with her
Madam
to
Chair.
get
Proceed.
that we coordinate to get, when we talked at our retreat about the stories and the narratives that we were constructing, about, you know, just following up with all of those things that we've worked on, that we've really put a lot into, just making sure that we don't drop the ball, we keep moving forward. I personally would like to see, and as you all well know, some kind of a story about us overcoming the school-to-prison pipeline from our data from 2016. We're coming up on 10 years. We can look at how in 2016, we were one of the top 5 districts that actually had an ACLU lawsuit. And now how we've brought restorative justice practices. We've been very mindful about how we've treated our students, and maybe just kind of looking into that story so that we can let people know about all the work and the progress that's been made throughout the years.
Thank you, Trustee Rutherford.
I'm going to defer to Trustee King.
You'd like to go first, Trustee King?
Yeah, I wanted to commend the staff and at Holmes Middle School today for their awesome job of putting the National Junior Honor Society program together for our scholars there. Amazing future, bright. Our future is bright with those scholars, right? They're starting something great. Superintendent Jones, thank you for engaging the parents to commit to stay, right? Always talking about the high school and what's to come in the future. That was a good touch. Thank you to the principal over there for the leadership of making sure our kids are our scholars are recognized for their service. I'm also, I look forward to, I read the data report presented by the consultant. Look forward to having that discussion to talk about, clarify some roles and responsibilities in those kind of regards. Look forward to doing that. So hopefully we can get that meeting scheduled soon to get some clarity in there. Thank you.
Trustee Rutherford.
Thank you. I want to definitely say to Superintendent Jones, if I may, that having Green Education Service and Tracy Davis coming into the district, that was, the goal was for them to support you and your staff. I guess I'm concerned when the operation portion of the district is being handled by board members. I would love for us to be fair to the staff, the individuals that's actually doing the work, have an opportunity to talk about the work, because an outsider will take something that's not the correct thing. It's the culture of the district where you can communicate what's going on in the district, because people report differently. But when you're dealing with the academics of Flint schools, the individuals that put their report together should be the ones that are articulating or commenting on it. I wouldn't want anyone to feel inferior, as in what they've been doing for years is being overlooked and dismissed because that's not the approach someone else takes. I just want to applaud the staff here at Flint Community Schools, because they are still in the trenches. And as a board member, it is my goal, and I hope it is this entire board's goal, to support them and not make them feel as though they're less than. So I just caution my colleagues to, you can hear, you can trust but verify, and you verify with allowing superintendent and his staff to be able to articulate the data that is being reviewed and discussed. So I just caution my colleagues in regards to taking an outsider's statement as for truth, and stay within what we approved and what we approved to be provided in this district. And I think with that, I think we all will be happy, and I think the students will be better off for it. So again, I want to leave with just cautioning my colleagues to take an outsider's approach when their culture is not the culture of Flint Community Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments?
Yeah.
Trustee Perkins?
Yeah, knowledge is power, and it doesn't matter where they come from. As far as I'm concerned, is if they're expert in their fields. And we love our staff, our whole administration, and I support them. So I kind of took a little offense to that.
Madam President, I would like to say, you know, the administration staff at the administration building, Kelly and others have showed me a lot of given me a lot of support. And Kelly have also invited me to some of the staff meetings in the future so that I can learn, you know, how to read the data. And so the internal staff is very supportive, and, you know, we're gonna combine that with what we're learning from the outside and just work together. And I would like to thank Kelly for, you know, taking time and calling me and setting up her schedule to meet mine to come in and work with her a little bit and learn what the district is doing.
Thank you. Any more comments from the board? Seeing no further comment, the Board of Education will hold its regular board meeting at ALA on Wednesday, May the 21st at 6:30. Seeing no further business, I declare the board committee as a whole meeting adjourned at 7:42. Mr. John, I want to talk to you.